right, Steelers Nation, huddle up. It's Tank and Mike for Steelers Chalk Talk. Acrisure Stadium is empty now, but Sunday afternoon against the Jets, the chants of Kenny, Kenny, Kenny must have been so overwhelming. They finally, either Mitch Trubisky got hurt before the second half, or Coach Tomlin changed his game plan, Mike.
Well, no, it's been going on all season, and you've heard some stuff, come out of the locker room a little bit. It's tough. It can divide the locker room with what the media is doing and what the fans are doing. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers panicked a little bit. It wasn't Mitch Trubisky's fault on Sunday. You saw Pickett come in. His first pass was an interception in the double coverage, which he had no business throwing. But then the defense gets an interception back, takes it down to the one. Pickett punches it in. Now everyone thinks Kenny Pickett's a savior, when really it was kind of the defense that stepped up. You need better defensive play. You need better special teams play. You need better offensive play across the board. You got to get the ball to Freiermuth. You got to get the ball to Pickens and quit trying to force feed Deontay Johnson or Claypool. Pickens is a guy that you need to get the ball in his hands. He's a tough physical receiver. He'll make the dirty block that you need to make, that Hines Ward used to, and he'll go up and make that combat catch and bail your quarterback out of trouble. Now, with that being said, you got to help Mitch Trubisky with the play calling a little bit. Take the training wheels off, take the handcuffs off, let him push it downfield a little bit more. Here's the reason why you panicked. You don't put Kenny Pickett in, because now all of a sudden you can't go back.
You can't go back?
Now you put him in. You should have waited till after the bye week. And here's my reason. You lose to the Jets. You're 1-4. We talked about it earlier in the season. We predicted a 1-4 start because of the tough schedule. Thought they would lose to the Bengals and then beat the Jets. They end up losing to the Jets and somehow beat the Bengals because of a long snapper issue. They should have been 0-4, really.
Doink!
But here's the deal. Now you have the Buffalo Bills.
Oh.
Then you have Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
Heard of him.
Then
heard of him.
Then you have the red-hot Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
And then you have the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles. So you got 3-1, 2-2 Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, 3-1 Miami Dolphins, 4-0 Eagles. All four of those defenses are in the top 10 right now. All four of those teams in all of the power rankings are in the top 7. One team has the Bucs a little lower, one team has the Dolphins a little lower, but top 7 are the power rankings.
You want to talk about throwing Kenny to the Lions?
Yeah, and here's the thing. He's either going to get hurt or he's going to lose his confidence.
How about this? So what if Tomlin comes out today and says, sorry, I had to. Trubisky got hurt. I mean, that was a hell of a hit. He has an out here if he goes, Trubisky got hurt, and that's why I had to go to Kenny. He has that much of an out to hit reset with this thing. Does that happen today?
I can't read minds, and I don't envision him doing that. I just, we made a decision. We're moving forward. The standard is the standard, and we expect Kenny to hold up to the standard. That's what I think you're going to hear.
One of the beefs against Mitch Trubisky was that, and you could see this during some of the games, that he wasn't going through his progressions. He was looking at his first receiver, going to his first receiver, trying to make things happen. Was that a product of that offensive line being so bad? Instead of having, 2.6 seconds to throw, he only had 2.2? Not being able to go through your progressions because of a bad offensive line?
I'm not so sure. I mean, it could be part of the problem. But again, as a quarterback, when you drop back, your feet are your timing mechanism. So once you hit that last foot, you should be either planning and throwing or hitching and throwing, depending on that route, to the number 1. If you hit that second hitch, you are on to number 2. Okay, and then you hit the third hitch, you're on to number 3. Now, how many hitches can he get through? Does he have that much time? Maybe he is getting a little bit spooked. Maybe he is getting pressure. That happens.
Mike, as I told you before, I hate this Matt Canada offense. I don't think he's qualified to be an NFL quarterback, offensive coordinator. You're talking about going through your hitches, going through your progressions. Matt Canada was running these stupid jet sweeps to start the season, and in addition, he had Trubisky flying 10 yards to the right, find a receiver, or flying 10 yards to the left to find a receiver. That also cuts down on your ability to go through
Well, here's the
progressions,
thing.
right?
Yeah, but when you do that, the jet sweep, as long as you have a pass off of it, a play
I
action
don't mind
pass,
a jet sweep
it's
once every 179
yeah,
plays.
But you got to have a play action pass off of it, a misdirection. What you're trying to do is move the linebackers, move the defense.
Right.
And then by moving the quarterback, you're trying to change the launch angle to help the offensive line. At the same time, when you do play action pass, you have to try to successfully run the football, and then you get those linebackers to bite up and you get those easy passes in behind it. So therefore, on a play action pass, you have a second level route, which is right behind the linebackers in front of the safeties, and then you have another level route behind the safety. So if the safety bites up to take that first level away, you go over the top to that second level. I'm not so sure they're actually doing that, and they're not really utilizing the play action pass.
There's no way they're doing it.
They got to help them out.
There's no way they're doing it, at least in the first 4 games. There's no way. I mean, stats don't lie. I mean, this offense stinks. It's at the bottom of the league in just about every single category. Again, I am not going to put this on Trubisky. I'm putting it on Matt Canada.
Well, it is, and here's the thing: when you help one of the quarterback's best friends and best weapons, especially for young quarterbacks or maybe quarterbacks that are struggling, is a tight end off a play action pass. And then the other issue is
if we only had a tight end.
Well, you do have a good tight end, and here's the thing: is you could actually move George Pickens into a slot role, and now you can get him in that blocking game because he's big enough to go block inside, but he's also big enough to go over that middle. I think you got Freiermuth and you move Pickens to the inside, maybe use some play action with those guys, blocking and bluff blocking, and then getting to that second level and getting some passes behind them, getting some bluff passes. That will help your young, inexperienced quarterback or your quarterback that's struggling right now because of the struggling offensive line.
All right, Mike, so let's assume Kenny Pickett is moving forward as your quarterback for our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. This offense that has been ineffectual throughout the season so far, last in the league, rushing, passing. What do you do as an offensive coordinator right now? If I hire you, fire Matt Canada, and hire you, what do you do with this offense?
Well, first and foremost, you got to make sure when you do throw the football, if you're going to go with Kenny Pickett, you have an out for him because teams will come pressure him. As a young quarterback, they're going to come in, they will have some exotic blitzes to try and confuse him. He needs to know immediately where that quick throw is, where that hot throw is, where that sight adjustment is in case they do blitz. The second thing would be heavy play action pass. Get that run game going, put it on Najee Harris, tell the defense, hey, we need you guys to step it up and be a little bit more stout. It might be a little slow, struggling start for our young quarterback because we're going to try and run the ball, lean on that run game. Najee, we're going to need you to kind of pick it up and fight for those yards, but then that can also help that play action pass. Throw the ball on first down, not on third down. That will help a young quarterback as well. I can't stand when coordinators put their young quarterback or their inexperienced quarterback in bad situations. You run the ball on first down, you run the ball on second down, now it's 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 12, and now he's got to throw the ball in a bad situation. Because honestly, he's going to try, as a competitor, he's going to try and push that ball downfield to pick up that first down, and it takes a long time. It certainly took me a long time that, hey, checking it down and playing field position is okay in the NFL. And as a competitor, you're like, hey, I want to get the most out of every single play. And sometimes you force that ball into coverage because you're trying to pick up that first down, when in reality, you don't need to do it. Check it down, take the easy completion, punt, play the field position, and hopefully you get a turnover, and the defense can get a turnover, give you better field position, and now you're in a better position to maybe try and score.
If you've watched any of the Green Bay Packer games over the last 3 years or so, at times, especially during the playoffs, I've told Mike, it looks like a symphony, the Packers offense.
Well, they're struggling right now, you cheesehead.
They are. Yes, they are.
They lost Devontae Adams, and I'll tell you what, Devontae Adams was a big part of that. But we have that piece. We have that Pickens. We have that Deontay Johnson.
And the point I'm making is,
they have a little better receiving core than the Packers do right now.
Whereas the Packers, a playoff perennial team, almost Super Bowl contender the last several years, offense looks like a symphony. This thing looks like an Oompa Loompa band for Oktoberfest over at Iron City Brewery with a bunch of guys going, Oompa, Oompa. It's horrible. There is no rhythm. There is no, well, people have been throwing around the word tempo lately. There is no rhythm, there is no tempo, and again, to me, that goes to the offensive coordinator's lack of ability to know what he's doing. You look at Matt Canada's coaching career, it's always been one season here, one season here, one season here.
Maybe he was that good and he was moving up.
Yeah, right. He was moving horizontally. I think Matt Canada goes the way of Todd Haley, Randy Fiechner after this season. I pray he does. I see no hope for this Steelers offense this season, Mike. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, the gauntlet they have to go through in the next couple games is going to determine where they are this season.
Well, it's going to be tough. Again, we talked about it earlier. They're going to Buffalo. Then they come home and they got Tom Brady. They got the Buccaneers. They've got a pretty stout defense. Then you have the Miami Dolphins, which they have some great corners, one of the best secondaries in the NFL, and that's a high-powered offense. And if the defense doesn't step up, that could get ugly. And then you've got the Philadelphia Eagles, who are 4-0. They're red hot right now. One of the best defenses for causing turnovers. So you're really putting your young quarterback in a disadvantage coming in, and it could be a confidence breaker. Now, if he does well and protects the football, and maybe win one out of those three with minimal turnovers, well, now it's a confidence booster because you do have that's a gauntlet. But I just don't. I don't like putting him in that situation.
You got Miami in Miami. Although Steelers Nation will be in Miami, there's no doubt about that. But it's an 8:00 game in Miami. Tom Brady does not like losing, and I don't think he likes status affairs right now and is going to make something happen in Tampa. The Buffalo Bills are a team of destiny. They will eventually get to a Super Bowl. I just don't see it happening. How many wins do we have right now?
One.
And we got how many losses?
And really, that first
so that's
one
1-6.
Was on a long snapping injury.
Doink!
And you miss a chip shot.
If you don't get a doink in Cincinnati, you're 0-4 right now.
You got a little luck, and you had a heck of a play by Minka Fitzpatrick, and you had a heck of a play by T.J. Watt. So they missing T.J. Watt. That's hurting big time. Maybe the offense doesn't look so bad if T.J. Watt is still on the defense, pressuring their quarterback, forcing him to make bad decisions, forcing him to throw the ball to the Pittsburgh Steelers like Joe Burrow did. And now the offense is getting better field position and not having to struggle so much.